Alright, I'm at the 34 Waterside Way in Covington, Kentucky, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be concerning to the buyer. Our access is a front outside clean out. And so, as you can see here, that's where we're going to be going. And I'm going to go ahead and we should be able to go both directions. They actually have the clean out turned around the wrong way as far as the sweep is concerned at the bottom. It actually wants to send it upstream. And so what we'll try to do first is see if we can get it to go upstream first. There we go. And so we'll go upstream towards the house first. Take a look on the interior. I think the house was built in like '82, so you got some toilet paper and stuff in here. Not abnormal, but of course I'll push back as far as I can, and then I may end up just like flushing the toilet a couple times or running some water, and that way we can kind of flush this line out a little bit. But I'm going to go as far upstream as possible first. And that's probably about it. I think I'm at the base of the toilet. There we go. Looks like actually somebody, maybe it's a wet wipe or something like that. That looks like an awfully big, doesn't look like toilet paper. It's not breaking up. So I don't know what that is. Maybe some wet wipes and stuff like that. But I'm going to go ahead and flush the toilet, run some water. So I'm going to pause the video while I do that. Alright. So the line looked really good structurally. Well, as we go back, I should have went ahead and sent that past. And the further we get away from that toilet and the water running, I have the tub running. We'll be able to see a little better, but it did already send that toilet paper on out. Looks like I'm going to have to go ahead and shut the water off so that we can see this a little bit. I mean, obviously you can see it. I only want to let that drain down for a minute. I'm going to pause the video again. Okay, there we go. Should be coming back. So you can see this line is all in really good shape to where it came in. And we'll go all the way back to that toilet spot. So really didn't think there was anything there, but we want to go ahead and make sure that there's some hair coming in. And here is the toilet. And so everything looks good on the inside. And so as we pull back, we'll take a look at it, and then we'll flip around and go downstream. And then once I get all the way out to the main, I will probably turn the water back on when we're pulling back from the main. Well, here we go. A little bit of a cutout there in the camera. Hopefully this will stay on the whole way out. Should be PVC most of the way out. It may switch to clay once it gets off the property. Looks like there's another clean out there, but it's not visible, so they buried it. Looks like we have a little belly here. Oh. not much, nothing to really be concerned about. It's right where the property ends, and it switches over to SDR35, which is another form of PVC. And that belly was very, very minor. It's just that the camera lens is only about a ½ an inch off the bottom of the pipe, and so tends to doesn't take much water to cover the lens. That's all. But with it being PVC, that's even less of a problem. Those little bellies like that, the water just raises up till it needs to. Like if if the line has sunk, you know, a ½ an inch or something, it's not a big issue. The water just fills up and overtakes it, and without, you know, as long as it's not cast iron or something, it's not an issue. Cast iron could be an issue just because of how rough it is. With PVC, the line is so slick that it just overtakes it and carries the toilet paper and stuff like that down in any of the solids on down the line. The only time bellies are a problem is if there's a hole in the line and the water leaches out, and then you just got a low spot to catch the solids. Like here, I mean, that's very, very minimal. And so when I stop, it usually allows the lens to see again. And we just ran a bunch of water through here, so. Probably right at the main. Yep. And that's pretty normal actually to have those like a little sunken spot right at the main where they make the connection. But the line looks great all the way out. The only thing I saw was, said you got a little bit of it's holding ½ an inch of water, but structurally the line's in good shape. Most likely that's been there since the line was put in. When they backfill, put a little bit of extra, when they throw all the dirt back on the pipe, sometimes it'll settle just a hair, and that's all that really was, is a little ½ inch out of a 4-inch pipe. The water will easily overtake it, and you can see the flow marks on the side of the pipe to show how high that water level gets even under heavy use. And that's actually more probably because the line's pretty flat. Good news is, for something that I believe this was built in about '82, but early '80s, to have PVC all the way out and not have any clay out on the sewer main or the end of the lateral where it leaves the property, it's actually very, very good news, because having PVC through all this is not super common in the early '80s. A lot of times when the neighborhoods were started early enough to where they still had clay and stuff in a portion of the line, so this is really good news. So as you can see, if we keep it moving, you'll see that it really barely covers the lens, and it's right at a turn, which is another common when you have extra fittings. Small belly at about 32 feet. That's actually where it leaves the property, it seems. And so I will mention that there is a very small belly at 32 feet, but that it is not causing any issue. You'll see connection. And nope, we got a little bit of a, there we go. Line kind of cut out when I was making that turn. Having some trouble out of the camera here. But we made it all the way back out. And the camera looks great. The line looks great. Again, everything that we saw was in pretty good shape. I didn't see any issues with the pipe itself. Now I don't know, my camera head has completely gone out, so I'm gonna have to try to, it's only the video, So I'm gonna have to see if we can get that to work. But overall, the line looks great. I'm trying to get it to where we can get an image, but at any rate, the line, we are obviously finished with the inspection, and everything looked great. I didn't see anything of any major concern. Everything looked great. The line's open and flowing, and it is all PVC, which is, like I mentioned, is pretty good. But yeah, overall the line looks great, and so that's going to end the inspection. Nothing to really report. I will note that like 32 feet there's a minor belly, just, you know, but as long as you aren't flushing stuff you shouldn't, then the line will be perfectly fine. And but overall the line's in great condition. So that's going to end the inspection at 34 Waterside Way in Covington, Kentucky.